Hello, this is Scotty Doggy, and this is my Chivalry 2 Ultrawide Performance and Comparison video. In this video I am going to compare 3840 by 1080 DX11 to 5120 by 1440 on DX11. I'm also going to compare the DX11 and DX12 on 5120 by 1440. And I'm also going to compare 2560 by 1440 to the ultra-wide 5120 by 1440p, and I'm going to do a little ultra-wide overview at the end. For my PC I have a RTX 3080 with a Intel 10 850K and 32GB of DDR4 RAM. For the benchmarking, all the results were done in windowed mode as the game wouldn't let me do full screen, and the resolution scale will be 100 and the FOV will be at 100, and we're going to go through obviously the low, medium, high and epic presets, and all of the benchmarking was done in a local game, 32 players, done on tournament grounds. And we start with 1080 versus 1440 in 32:9 ratio, and we saw that the low preset we saw an increase of about 1 FPS and about 1%. Changing to the medium preset, I actually saw a slight decrease in the performance, going from 1440 to 1080p for about 1 FPS or about 0.5% in performance. Changing it to the high preset, now we start to see some actual differences. Changing from the 1440p to the 1080p netted me about 17 FPS or about 13% in performance. And using the epic preset, going from the 1440p to 1080p netted me an extra 17 FPS or about 14% in performance. Doing all the math and comparing all the presets, that actually gives you about a 6% performance increase if you down your resolution from 1440p to 1080p, and if I'm honest, I was probably expecting actually more than that. Next I'm going to be comparing DX11 versus DX12 using the 5120 by 1440p resolution. And we start with the low preset, and changing from DX11 to DX12 actually cost me about 9 FPS or about 5% in performance. Using the medium preset, going from DX11 to DX12 cost me about 11 FPS or about 6% in performance. Moving on to the high preset, now we can see DX12 take a slight lead, about 3 FPS or about 2% in performance. And finally the epic preset, which once again saw DX12 take the lead with about a 5 FPS or about a 4% increase in performance. Comparing all the presets between DX11 and DX12 basically puts DX11 ahead by about 2%. Next I thought I'd look at how much performance is actually lost going from 16:9 ratio to 32:9 ratio. And we start with the low preset, and strangely enough we see the 32:9 ratio actually come ahead by about 4 FPS or about 2% in performance. Moving on to the medium preset, the plot thickens even further, with the 32:9 ratio coming ahead at about 9 FPS better or about 5.5% better in performance. Moving on to the high preset, and probably getting away from a CPU bottleneck, you can see now increasing from the 16:9 ratio to the 32:9 ratio will cost you about 19 FPS or about 12% in performance. And finally the epic preset, with results once again that I probably expect, going from 16:9 ratio to the 32:9 ratio cost you about 21 FPS or about 15% in performance. So just a summary, on average, changing the resolution from 2560 to 1440 to 5120 by 1440 decreased the in performance by about 4%, but looking at those low and medium results, I would probably say you're likely to hit that CPU bottleneck beforehand. And for the final part of the video, just a recording of the game being played, plus I recorded the screen at the same time just to show you sort of how it looks. So basically, if you liked the video, give it a like, and if you didn't, leave a message in the comments, tell me what you think I could do or any games you'd like to see me do this with. Thanks a lot.